So I've been thinking about different video ideas to do while Stephen's been in the hospital, and I've actually found a lot of old footage on our computer from our time in Disneyland Paris. There was quite a lot of footage from the different dining and shopping experiences that we had that we didn't really get to share as much in the vlog, so I thought I'd put together a bit of a comprehensive guide, and hopefully it'll make first timers like ourselves be able to navigate the parks a little bit better. So I think for the sake of the video, the best way to explain it is to split it up a little bit. So I'm going to start by talking about our dining experiences and what we ate in the day and what we spent, and then we'll talk a little bit about the shopping. On our first night in the park, we arrived at the atmospheric Disney Village. The village had an amazing atmosphere at night, and after looking at some of the menu options available, such as Billy Bob's, the sports bar, and New York sandwiches, we discovered a 1950s style diner called Annette's Cafe. Some people had mixed reviews of the diner, but personally, we really enjoyed it. Stephen ordered the all-American hot dog for €19. I had the Euro Chick Burger, which was €21. Both meals had a side of fries included, and we also had 2 colas at $4.30 each. For dessert, we had a cheesecake at $12.50 each. The grand total was $73.60. This equated to 62.64 Great British pounds or 80.54 in US dollars. This is usually typical for what you'd pay in Northern Ireland for 2 courses with a drink. But there are other cheaper options around Disney Village and in the park itself. A good way to budget before you settle on where to eat in the park is by going to the Disneyland Paris app. This app was useful for finding locations for both sit-in and quick service. While it's more expensive to eat in the park itself, sometimes it's a necessity if you have little time there. For us, the only option for the park was to do 2 full days, so the app was useful for finding out where to eat, browsing the menu, deals and prices. The app was also a good place to make dining reservations. It's easy to use and helpful for sticking to a budget. The next morning in Disney Village, we looked at the menu for Rainforest Cafe. I was told to avoid this one because you could get better and cheaper options, but that's only based off one person's opinion, and it looked like a nice setting for families. It's also worth noting that for those with children, there is a tiered Disney meal plan available. However, for this trip, we didn't think we would use it as much, to be honest. We would probably go for this option in the future. Getting to downtown Disney itself was pretty easy if you're staying in a Disney hotel. We stayed in the Santa Fe and made use of the bus service. When we got off at the station, it was an easy walk to Disney Village or straight into the entry to the park by the huge Disneyland Hotel. On this day, we ate a late lunch at Earl of Sandwich. We got a meal deal with 2 drinks, 2 sandwiches, 2 bags of crisps and 2 brownies at €11.50 each. The total of all of this food was €23 and the sandwiches were actually really good and tasty. In Great British pounds this would be $19.58 and in US dollars it would be $25.17. It got hot before heading back to the park, so we got 2 drinks at Cool Stop. For the purposes of this video, we aren't going to include individual drinks because it was high temperatures and we definitely made use of a lot of them. For this reason, we allocated a €12 budget to the total amount of single drinks consumed between meals. On our final night in Disney Village, we ate in the Royal Pub. The inside of the pub was great and really immersive, like sitting inside a castle brewery with coppery, steampunk elements. I wasn't the biggest fan of the food here. I ordered a club sandwich which came with potato slices, but it arrived cold. Stephen ordered a platter, which was the better option and more enjoyable. The sandwich was €23 and the platter was €22. We also got 2 drinks at €4 each. The total in euros was €53 and the UK price would have been $45.11, with the US coming in at $58.01. During our 2 eat-in dining experiences at Disney Village, we also give 2 €15 tips. The total for eating in these 3 locations, including Cool Stop drinks and minus the service tips we paid, was €161.60, or $137.54 in Great British pounds and $176.86 in US dollars. Now, let's do a short segment on shops. In both the Disney Park and the Disney Village, there are a multitude of different shops to visit. The main Disney Village shop is the World of Disney, which is a large department store with a lot of options for Disney memorabilia, clothing, crockery sets, and more. We tried to highlight a few of the prices while there. We also visited the Lego store because Stephen likes to collect different Lego Star Wars sets. We visited a shop in the arcade selling some jewellery inspired by Beauty and the Beast. There was a lot to find souvenir wise, and we grabbed a few pins for ourselves as well as some keepsakes for family and friends. We aren't including these in our budget because as a couple without children, we didn't spend on toys, dressing up or balloons that other families may account for. As a side note, just remember you can watch our Disneyland videos on our main channel, and remember to click subscribe. Back to eating, this time in the Disneyland Park. Whilst in the main Disney Park, we visited Casey's Corner. Stephen got a hot dog for €11 and I went for chicken nuggets for €9. We also got fries at €4 each and 2 drinks at €4 each. The total cost was €36. Because theme park food is so expensive, this was nearly double the amount for what is essentially the same in McDonald's. It's also a part of the Disneyland experiences, and we expected inflated prices in the park. Great British pound price would be $30.64, while in US dollars it's $39.40. The final meal we ate whilst at the park was from the Brown Derby in Walt Disney Studios. Here we had 2 meal deals. The Black Widow burger, which was €17 including fries and a drink, and my chicken burger meal, which was $15 including fries and a drink. Stephen also got a little chocolate Mickey Mouse mousse, which cost €4. The grand total of all of this was also €36. Lastly, we got a few pre-parade snacks from the Cable Car Bakery. We went for 2 cake pops and a Mickey cookie. The cake pops were €5 each and the cookie was $4. A total of €14, $11.92 in pounds and $15.32 in US dollars. Overall, our total for eating in the parks using only quick service was €86. Add this to the $161.60 total from Disney Village and we arrive at a grand total of $247.60 for one evening meal and 2 full days worth of meals. We budgeted 300 Great British pounds for the time of the trip, and this total amounted to $210.84 in our currency and $207.96 for the US. Bearing in mind we also gave tips and managed to grab and go some breakfast snacks in Starbucks, we found that a minimum budget of 300 Great British pounds was sufficient to feed us. This budget did come with the unfortunate adage that we weren't able to try as many snacks as we wanted to. So we'll just have to visit again at some point and eat our way around it all. So hopefully, if you were a first time Disneyland visitor like us, this video helped you out.